Hi, my name is Deb Tharaldson, and I've been asked to talk about my tithing experience. Many years ago, before we had our new sanctuary, Ivan gave a sermon on tithing. I was pretty convicted, and it was just like the Lord was talking to me. And at that time, what I was doing is, if I even tithed at all, I would throw, say the basket would come around, I'd put maybe $5 or $10 in there. And if church was lucky, maybe 15 or 25, if I had it to spare. And I thought I was doing well. But after Ivan had read this and talked about it, I just knew the Lord was convicting me to step up to the plate and honor Him. So that day I went home determined to tithe correctly for the first time. So I stacked up all my bills as I usually did, and I got the checkbook out and I looked at the bills and I thought, oh, I just can't do this. So I got out the Bible and I just read this passage over and over and over. And I bet it was 20, 25 minutes it took me to write that very first tithe check. And my hands were shaking and trembling. I don't even know if you could even read the check. But I wrote it, put it in an envelope, and stuck it in my purse. And I'm like, okay, 10%. I can do it. I can do it. So, and the Lord said He would bless me, and the Lord said test me. So I thought, okay, this is what we're going to do. So then I thought, okay, now I've got to pay all these bills. But I just knew based on experience I was not going to have enough money to pay those bills. I just knew it. But I had to honor the Lord. I knew I did the right thing. So I wrote out all the bills, and when it was all said and done, I got out the calculator to find out how much in the hole we were going to be for that week. Well, as it turns out, we had money left over, and more than I thought we would. And I'm like, this is not right. This is not right. So I recalculated, and then I did it again. And I'm like, this is unreal. So I thought, okay, well, this is the Lord's blessing. Oh, this is good. So 2 weeks later, I got paid, and it came time to do that again. And I was like, oh, I don't think I can do it. So it was the exact same process all over again. It probably took me 20 minutes to write that second tithe check again. But after doing that and, then paying my bills, we still had money. And I'm like, that is not possible. It's a miracle, really. I don't even know. So as time went on, it probably took really 2 or 3 months to kind of not feel so nervous about it and to tithe on a regular basis. I really had to commit this to prayer because it was hard for me to get started with tithing 10% to the Lord. But over time, it became a habit, and I felt good about being obedient to God. And then we began a campaign for the new sanctuary at church, and we were asked to go over and above the tithe. So we decided, yes, we would commit a certain amount over and above the tithe. And we did that faithfully. And then we had another campaign for the same thing. And so I upped that amount that we were tithing over and above the 10%. And when I was asked to talk about my tithing experience, I took a good look at what I was giving, and it was about 18%. And so as of Easter, I just committed to the Lord. I just said, you know what, Lord, I'm just going to do 20%. To honor God. And it's just been so wonderful. And the blessings from tithing, I think, first off, obedience to Christ. Because through obedience, you gain a much closer relationship with Him. And you can trust me on this. I know what it's like to be disobedient to God, and you don't want to be there. So just a closer relationship with Christ, and it gives me a lot of peace knowing that I am obedient to Him in this area. And also the Lord, over time, this has been a lot of years now, but over time the Lord has given me a heart for what really matters to Him. And Matthew 6:21 reads, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." And that is so true. And it's just crazy. Without even knowing it or without even paying attention to it, the Lord has changed drastically the way that I have been spending. And instead of hanging out at department stores, you know, I have a heart more for what He wants to see done with our money. And some of the blessings I think too are, you know, that we have the money to pay our mortgage and our bills. I'm so thankful for that. Again, you know, tithing 20% to the Lord, I mean, and having money for whatever we need, it's just a real blessing. We have money to donate to Christian organizations, which we do on a regular basis. Plus too, if we know that family or friends are hurting, we also have money to give them too. We've also had enough money to carry us through some layoffs we've had in our home, 2 rounds of layoffs, and we've been fine. Also too, I think another blessing is having my job for 21 years in an industry where really people like me are getting phased out. And so, and two, I think countless other answered prayers regarding our finances and other areas of our lives too. It's just been a real close experience with the Lord.